Hello, 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 everyone. The Emperor has blessed this stream. Yes, yes he has, at long last. Yes, we are diverting away from the waifus in favor of Space Marine manliness with Warhammer Space Marine 2. The very, very long-awaited sequel to the original game on the 360 and PS3, which I adore very much, and I really, 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 really would like a physical re-release for to go along with this new one. So yeah, Space Marine 2. This game really took people by surprise last year, and next to Stellar Blade, it was one of those games that I really, really wanted to get for the PS5 Slim. I finally got it thanks to a sale, and I'm very happy with that purchase. Spent maybe half the cost that I normally would have. So it was like, oh, you got a certificate and a spring sale happening at Best Buy. How could I resist? So Space Marine 1, yeah, that was a game that basically was my gateway into Warhammer. I don't play the tabletop game. I have not played as many of the other video game tie-ins as I wish I did. But Space Marine was just so good of a game that it was like enough to get me interested into this grim, dark, yet wacky world that is Warhammer. And for those who don't know what Warhammer 40,000 is, and you'd be under a rock harder than Leon L. Johnson if you don't. It's basically fantasy, it's basically like the sister series to Warhammer Fantasy. And if I had to describe it in any other way, it would basically be Star Wars if you made it even far more grim, dark, and bloody, and violent, and with very little hope in comparison. Also, you have 9-foot-tall Space Marines with chainsaw swords and guns that basically shoot rocket ammunition by default. So I really loved the first game. It was like a very nice blend of old hack and slash gameplay with Gears of War third-person shooting. It hasn't aged perfectly. In fact, there's stuff that was in the old trailers for the first game that I wish had made it into the final product. But that first game is still very near and dear to me, and I was so sad when THQ went under, mostly due to their own bevy of bad decisions. And it took us a long time until it finally happened, but we did finally get a sequel, courtesy of Saber Interactive, and Saber is one of those studios that I kind of have a bit of root for. Like, they've always been small, very, very much AA. In fact, if you've followed any video games for as long as I have, since the 2000s, you might remember them as having done a lot of middle-level titles like Time Shift, a game that was one of those games that you would see on the shelves at GameStop everywhere you went. And I played that game myself, and it was very fun. Little time travel, time manipulation, first-person shooter with crazy weapons. And it was just an all-around good time, not very demanding. Kinda wish a sequel for that would get made. But they ended up being tapped to do Space Marine 2, which at first I was skeptical about, considering I was kind of like iffy with some of the weapon design choices, some of the weapon sound choices. I was kind of iffy on other things. Also, Warhammer's kind of been going through a bit of a rough spot where you have the higher-ups listening to people who don't know any better, or rather shouldn't be making decisions, trying to basically turn Warhammer into the next Disney Star Wars, and we all know how well that went with that franchise. But then you have a whole bunch of others, namely in the fans, who are like, no, we like Warhammer for what it is, don't go doing shit that we don't want it to. So there was kind of like some trepidation also, both on my part and other people, when it came to whether or not Space Marine 2 would deliver the goods. And from what I've seen so far, Saber and Focus Interactive not only did their homework, they understood the assignment to a T and delivered, and it ended up being the surprise hit, one of the surprise hits of 2024. And I very much am looking forward to play this damn thing after what feels like a decade. 40,000 years in a decade, in fact. So, and I had been wanting to get into the game for a while, but I've been putting it off because earlier in this week I came down with a very bad seasonal allergy, and I did not want to stream this thing without sneezing every 2 seconds. I'm still getting over a bit of a phlegm in the throat, however, so it is what it is. Yes, the game looks fine. No, I do not want to rejoin PlayStation Plus. Go away. Crossplay available. Huh, what a concept that is. Online multiplayer not available. Yes, because I don't have PlayStation Plus. That's perfectly fine. Go away. Not sure what this is for, nor do I care. Okay, so performance mode. What is this? Speed, quality, helmet visibility. I want the helmet. That was a feature I wish was in the original version because I like the Space Marine helmets. Bit of a gothic Darth Vader look. English subtitles. I want to turn subtitles on. Story subtitles. I'm not sure what the whole speed and quality thing differentiation is. I'll go with speed if it means image quality. Okay, did that save? Yes, it did. Well, I already see one thing I prefer over the original. I already see one thing that I missed from Space Marine 1, and that is the dynamic menu. I much preferred the main menu from the first game, with Titus beating the crap out of orcs on screen. But it is what it is. So, anyway, let's get this started. The music kind of reminds me of Gears of War. Which is funny considering Gears of War wouldn't exist without Warhammer to begin with. Anyway, let's not waste any time. I already did this game. Already did it. Let's do it. Hey, yes. Get on with it. By the Emperor, get on with it. different. I'll go with normal, bog standard. In the 41st millennium, humanity stands on the brink of annihilation. The galaxy-spanning imperium of man is beset on all sides by hostile aliens and threatened from within by traitors and heretics. It is an age of constant war, a new dark age in which enlightenment is replaced by superstition, rhetoric, and blind prayer. To live in such time is to be one amongst untold billions, existing in the cruelest and bloodiest regime imaginable. The most powerful and dreaded of the Imperium's defenders are the Space Marines, bioengineered superhuman warriors. They are humanity's last bastion against the terror. There is no time for peace, no respite, no forgiveness. There is only war. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Kadaku, Sector MX44219, MAE, Imperial-held Residious System. Ruh-roh. Well, it's definitely not orcs this time. I give that Imperial Guard 15 minutes of life. Beginning crypt. By authority of Nozick, I had to close my door. Archmagos Nozick, threat Xenos, Tyranids, early stage invasion. The Super Xenomorphs. Cease any bombardment preparation. Project Aurora present. Access denied. Strategic value absolute. Urgent assistance required from nearby forces. Submit encrypted message. Submitted to Astropathic Relay. Hail the Omnissiah. Hail the Machine God. Ah. Mechanicus. Deathwatch Kill Team Primus.
Approaching Kadaku. Prepare for atmospheric entry.
Deathwatch, eh? Well, that's not good. Okay, rough landing.
Kill team leader to squad. Box check. Repeat. Kill team leader to squad. Confirm Vox contact.
We have crisis tanks from your position.
Do you have the virus bomb? Damn it.
Well, that is definitely not Mark Strong's voice, that's for sure. Haven't even landed more than 5 minutes and already the planet's getting a mold problem. Damn. Game looks good. Can we get a Deathwatch game similar to this? That would be my dream Warhammer game after Space Marine with playing as the Ultramarines. It's like I'd love a Deathwatch game. Like choose your Space Marine.
Lost contact with brother. Approaching orbital launcher facility. Well secured.
Hellstross, Alpha! I'm moving to the crash site. Do you read?
Any sign of the commander? Negative. No contact since the crash.
I'm here, damn it!
Hellstross, you have command. What are your orders? We proceed as planned. Launch the virus bomb into the stratosphere, detonate it, and watch the Tyranids die. A sight I will greatly enjoy.
He's definitely a space wolf. Yeah, he can't, Tyranid High Fleet invaded the planet of Kadaku, placing an alpha-level project known as Aurora at risk. Advance the orbital launcher. What is this? The Reign of Terror. Like, it would be great, right? With this game's gameplay, but with choosing what Space Marine your Deathwatch operative comes from. Maybe abilities just based on them. Oh boy. That's a lot of monsters. Yeah, from what I understand, the Tyranids are basically xenomorphs on steroids. And that they're basically what the Zerg from StarCraft are directly based on. Uh-oh, I hear chittering. Well, the game so far moves quite similarly to the first game.
Homicans. The area will be crawling with them.
Light attack with R1. Well, they definitely changed the controls a bit because originally square and square and triangle were for melee, square for heavy attack, triangle for square for light attack, triangle for heavy attack. I'm used to the original, to the Xbox 360 controls where it was, what was it? X and Y. So they changed it into being, into triggers. Interesting. Armor depletes, damage depletes armor. Armor regenerates after a small delay. Okay. Recently last second, remember dealing damage, indicates maximum regen amount. So it looks like they redid the health to something similar to Bloodborne or Monster Hunter, and the armor has been divided up into sections. So that's different. Yep, heavy attack is now R2. Yeah, they went the Souls method, which, I'm a little like, about.
Alpha, we're
Chainsword combinations. Hold R1 to finish a chainsword combo with a heavy. Okay, so we can do that then.
I'm up to my elbows in these wretched gods.
Okay, so I...
For Brother Darius or the commander? Nothing. It is left to us to share the glory now, Telstros.
Hold on, brothers.
I don't think they can hear you, man. Okay, so we don't use R2. I think I prefer the old way, to be honest. Press L1 to parry common attacks and attacks with blue indicator. Perfectly timed will instantly kill smaller enemies and stagger large ones. Stomp. Whoa. Spores! Well, the chainsword and melee feel appropriately heavy. Nope. Away with you, foul beast. Yes.
Now they send larger meat to stop me.
Dodge with red indicator. R3 for execution. Okay.
You must reach that bomb. I will, even if I have to chew my way through.
He's definitely a space wolf. Yeah. Rishma Dev says, is this game worth buying? Never played Warhammer. Well, I just started playing Space Marine 1, and everyone has, Space Marine 1. I just now started playing Space Marine 2 for the first time, and it was the surprise hit of 2024. And from what I understand, it's basically almost unanimous. Everyone that has played the game has loved the game. And I love the first Space Marine game on the 360, so far I want to say yes. Definite recommend. Just by word of mouth alone, and so far it feels pretty similar to the first game in terms of weight. I'm a small YouTube channel, and I'm very much months late to the parade with this one, so I don't expect much of an audience. I'm just doing it because it's fun. Uh-oh. That's a lot of bodies.
Darius, brother, I will repay them tenfold.
No, Darius. I hardly knew thee. Seriously, I hardly knew thee.
This bolter will roar in your name, Darius. I swear on it.
Here they come.
Vermin.
Okay, so the bolt pistol has limited ammo.
Kicking these rotten seals out of my fangs for weeks.
Something the first game didn't.
Situation here at the Lodge is becoming severe. Have you secured the virus bomb? No. For every gaunt I smash, 10 more come raining down. If we fail to launch that bomb, there will be nothing to stop the Tyranids. I am almost at the crash site. Just make sure the launcher is still standing when I get there. I will hold the line for as long as I can.
Yeah, in the first Space Marine game, your pistol sidearm didn't have any ammo, so that's a change from the first one. I don't see any servo skulls to pick up for records. Weaken the enemy, hold R1 to knock back small enemies and mark them with a gun strike. R1 and R2. Interesting. I am not used to this new parry system.
We are running out of time. Kill team, I am at the crash site.
Those are some big guns.
Alpha! Baron!
Boom.
Baron, my brother, you have honored the Imperium with your devotion.
So we lost one, we've lost a second one. I'm guessing that's the virus bomb they're going on about.
Ulfa! Hellstras, if you can hear me, I have the virus bomb. Headed to the orbital launcher.
Ah.
Is that as hard as your bite, Xenos? Come on!
Black Templar. That's what he was. I didn't look what the other one was. I know the other one growling is a space wolf.
No!
Well, he's gone.
Your death will not go unpunished.
Blew his friggin' head off. We got another one. Ow.
Tyranids have breached the perimeter. Over. Anyone? Is the bomb en route?
I love Hellstras!
Chop suey. Go away. I don't like the sound of the bolter, but the weapon still feels weighty. If there's... I will forever not forgive Call of Duty 4 for how it made guns sound like plastic pea shooters. It's something it's a sound design choice I've hated for years. And I much preferred the meaty sound of the bolt gun from the first Space Marine. Like it actually sounded like a freaking tank cannon in a hand.
Are you with me? I have the bomb.
It sounded like a tank cannon that got turned into a handgun. The chainsword still sounds quite throaty. Oh no.
You have served your Emperor well, brother.
Yup, Space Wolf. No, wait a minute. Is he? No, he's a Blood Raven. Or no. No, not Blood Raven. Blood Angel, yeah. It has the wings with the teardrop. Blood Ravens have a very similar thing. Symbology.
Log. To any Imperial unit that recovers this log, my kill team crash-landed off course. My brothers are all dead. Slain by Tyranids. I have the virus bomb, moving to the orbital launcher. We'll fire into stratosphere where it will disperse over Tyranid positions.
Yeah. So the last, so we had a Space Wolf, a Blood Angel, and a Black Templar. I don't know what the first guy was. In fact, let me see if I can rewind the stream a bit to check. Hold on. What was a what was he? I am now curious. Well, you know what? I give up. I'm not gonna go searching past 30 minutes of footage. Yeah, Blood Raven and Blood Angel have a very similar thing going on, but you know, one has a bird, one just has the wings with the blood teardrop. Headshot. Alrighty. Okay, we have bolter rifle.
This is our one chance to delay the Tyranid invasion. The virus will spread through their forces. They will adapt, but it will slow them down. The virus must be launched into the stratosphere. Nothing else matters.
Heavy bolters. Well, the rifle at the very least still sounds appropriate. Damn, this game looks impressive. Uh-oh, big arena, which means big problems. Can we use... Nope, we can't use the turret. Zarbombas. Uh-oh. Tear him apart. Uh-oh, what the...
Operator shift change overdue. Your tardiness has been flagged for invigilation.
Open the gates.
Shift chronometer reset. You're registered as on duty. Carry out the Omniscience work according to the divine synchronicity.
Wait, what the... I was not done exploring. How dare you? And tardiness, you say? I'll have you know, I've always been a very good student in regards to punctuality. Wait, could I shoot that? Nope.
Inserting payload.
Push!
Payload chambered. Hazardous material detected. Further benedictions required.
Transmitting override authorization. Set course for stratospheric detonation.
The rite of safeguard must be performed. Seek an authorized Magos at the command console.
It also looks like there's no, so far anyway, more than 4 weapons. Unless I'm mistaken. Frag grenade. Yeah, they changed up the weapon selection. It's now 2 at a time instead of 4. Yeah.
Machine Spirit, where is the command console?
On the observation platform above. The Magos on duty does not respond.
Summon the lift.
Sounds like rain's going, so I may have to cut the stream off soon.
Machine Spirit, what is the status of the orbital launcher?
Hibernation. Console inactive for 22 hours. This impiety to the Omnissiah has been locked.
Activate launch systems.
The rite of initialization must be performed. Seek an authorized Magos of the command console. The command console is posted at the edge of the observation platform. A Magos will attend to you shortly.
Doubtful.
Systems from hibernation. Rite of capacitors initialized. Personnel may begin prayers of charging.
Uh-oh.
Drone. Can you not hasten the damn process?
Seismic disruptions have occurred. Launch trajectory may have been altered.
That's a lot of Hormagaunts. Launch the bomb. Whee!
It is done.
Damn. Hello again, Captain Titus. It's been too long. Way too friggin' long. Let's go.
I will take you all with me. lie dead at my feet.
Yeah! Come on.
I will leave you with wounds by which you will remember me.
Oh no.
We will eradicate your kind from the galaxy.
Rip and tear. Uh-oh.
May that virus strip your flesh from your bones.
Carnifex. No. I just started, damn it. Tis but a flesh wound. Okay, the game's over. Really? Server? No game, we're not doing server, we're just doing single player. Go away. Battle Barge Resilient, Day 4, 422, 56. Sheesh, Titus, you're looking a little roughed up more than usual.
Praise the Emperor. The wound was fatal. You survived only through the Rubicon surgery. We remade you. You are a Primaris now.
Why?
Lord Calgar issued the command himself.
And Games Works...
Gone. Summoned by the Primarch.
I must get back to the Watch Fortress.
You have been reassigned.
My place is with the Deathwatch.
The Inquisition can find no stain on you, Titus. Accused of heresy. You have served penance in the Deathwatch for almost a century. And not once have you faltered. But you will never know redemption until you have faced the judgment of your brothers. Prove yourself to us and know true absolution.
Ultramarines.
What is your life?
My honor is my life.
What is your fate?
My duty is my fate.
What is your fear?
My fear is to fail.
What is your reward?
My salvation is my reward.
What is your craft?
My craft is death.
What is your pledge?
My pledge is eternal service.
The Rubicon surgery has remade you as a Primaris Marine. You are now stronger, faster, and more resilient. You will take your place as an Ultramarine once more. Your brothers will know that you served in the Deathwatch, but your dishonorable status as a Black Shield has been redacted from the archives. Should it be discovered, there would be questions. Lord Calgar has offered you a second chance. Do not taint it.
Report to Captain Akaran.
Had secured the spaceport and handed over its defense to the Cadians.
Benjada, the guards will be cleaning up bits of Tyranid for weeks.
Okay, so we're a Primaris Marine, and I was about to say, yeah, Calgar commanded it, and then, and he was commanded at the behest of Games Workshop because we gotta promote the next big thing. Yeah, the Primaris Marines, they're a bit of a divisive subject. On one hand, I get why Games Workshop would come up with a new version of Marine. But at the same time, I also understand the fan backlash, too. So there's kind of like a pro and a con for why they did it and the reception to how to handle it. So, yeah, we're no longer Deathwatch. I'm fooey. Guess I'll have to wait for another game with that. And Chaplain right over here. Books, candles, robot cherubims. Gothic cathedral windows. Yep, everything that I know and like about 40k aesthetically is all accounted for. However, I'm gonna have to end part 1 right here and come back with part 2 because how long did this go? It's already been an hour. Sheesh. Well, I'm gonna go take a break, and two, my old man came and demanded I make a salad, even though my mother nor he never told me to make a salad for dinner. And it's like, would have been nice to have been told that ahead of time. So I gotta go do that. And after I've had a little bit of a break, I will come back and we will continue the game. So be back in a wee while bit.